Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Natasha Small. I'm the admissions coordinator for the Department of Theater and Dance at the University of Texas at Austin. So my job is to help facilitate the application and audition process for all four of our undergraduate degree programs. So today I'm here with a bunch of our UTeach Theatre students, some of our current students, and they're going to answer questions about that program and what life is like as part of our department and on UT campus. So we're going to start with some introductions. I'm going to shift to Deja first. Deja, will you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Deja Kristen, and I am now a third-year UTeach major student at UT, and I have a minor in Arts Management and Administration, and I'm from San Antonio.
Hi, I'm Nathan Tran. I'm from Plano, Texas, and I am now a third-year UTeach Theater major.
Hello, my name is Juan Angel Leva, and I am going into my fourth year for theater studies, and I'm minoring in Mexican American studies, and I'm from the Rio Grande Valley.
Hi, my name's Hannah Kelly. I'm also a third year in the program. I'm originally from Fort Worth, Texas. I'm also minoring in educational psychology and disability studies.
And hi, my name is Zoe. I am also a third year BFA Theater Studies major, and I'm also from Fort Worth, Texas, but Keller.
Moving on, let's talk a little bit about the UTeach Theater program specifically. So what are some of your thoughts? Maybe it could be something you were surprised to learn about the program once you were in it, or you can talk about student teaching, anything that you might be excited for within the UTeach Theater program.
I think the number one best thing about our program is that we have a 100% job placement after graduation, and that is just a huge plus of coming to UT and being in the UTeach Theater program.
There's also just so many opportunities that you wouldn't have even known about that are made available to us. And it's not even just you can get a jump start on it early on. You don't have to wait until your fourth year when you're student teaching. I know Zoe has a position with working with One Act. And so that was really cool. I got to help out with the classroom as well. There's a BFA UTeach Facebook page where all of our alumni come and comment opportunities for us. So you can just get involved with the community that way. And get started interacting with kids and everything like that. And once you express your interest and you want to get a head start on it with our faculty, they're more than happy to connect you and find those opportunities for you and help you find what fits best for you that way.
Thanks. Yeah, one thing that stands out to me about the UTeach Theater program is that it still encompasses who you are as an artist, and there's a lot of room, I think, to explore that, instead of just being oh, you're a teacher now and that's it, So I appreciate that in the curriculum, that you still get to take acting and other elective, your choice of elective classes and production labs, but then you're also doing the educational curriculum going into your third and fourth year, and then having the student teaching practicum to actually practice so you know what you're doing. Cool.
I think that is kind of unique to our program too, though, because other universities I applied to, they would have, theater, and then they would have education as two separate things. You would have to double major, or their program wouldn't be as integrated. But the major decision factor for me coming to UT and being in this program was the fact that it's integrated from the very first time you walk on campus. They're really focused on, like you said, becoming kind of a teaching artist and how you can apply that to a public school setting or whatever else. They really prepare you to be a theater educator and not just an educator who practices theater.
Yeah. Will you guys tell us a little bit about your application and interview experience for the UTeach Theater program? What is something that you kind of wish you would have known going into that? Or is there anything that was unexpected in your experience?
I had a really funny experience with mine because I actually didn't even know interviews were a thing, because I originally applied as an acting major, but then switched to theater studies. And so I was kind of lost in everything. And so it was the week of when the interviews were due, and it was like I was freaking out because I was like, I will not get into here. I'm like gonna miss my interview. So a tip for all you prospective students, just make sure you know when your interview is and like when to do everything.
I also, similar to Nathan, had a freak out moment because I was like, oh my God, I applied so late. Now they don't have any interview slots left because I had planned on going to another university entirely because UT admitted their decisions a little late for me. So I had already other plans. So I did a phone interview and I was very worried that I wouldn't get in. Everybody was super nice to me and I was very nervous, but the questions, they just wanted to know who you were and where your heart is. And it was really nice. And they made me feel super comfortable, even though they could tell I was nervous. I think it was, I don't remember who interviewed me, but they were like, just breathe, just take a second and breathe. And I was like, okay, thank you. So here it's been really welcoming and everybody truly just wants your success. So don't be nervous and just be yourself.
So let's talk a little bit about campus life. So how do you balance like extracurricular activities with your schoolwork? Do you have a job? Is it on campus or off campus? And what is that like for you?
With the amount of stuff that I usually have going on, it's all about, knowing yourself and making sure that you understand like what your level is. And I say always push it a little bit because you can always dial it back. Like you are in full control of whatever's going on. And so I would say go to where you can, but don't push too far. And always make sure that you have enough time for yourself and your friends.
Yeah, that's so true. I think that like the biggest thing is you are what you make of it. And like I was in a main stage production like the past fall of my sophomore year, and it was like such a big time commitment. Me and Deja were in Spring Awakening, and like it was like 2 months of like every day rehearsing until like 10 p.m. And then it's just a lot about like time management, and you get to like figure out your own schedule. I definitely like tailored my classes to make sure that like I still had time for everything on top of the show. And then I also like joined student government, which was a huge time commitment too. I'm like the new fine arts representative for next year, so you'll see me doing that. But yeah, it's just a lot about time management and knowing yourself and what you're capable of.
Anything that you decide to do on campus, just make sure it's something that you're passionate about or something that you enjoy doing. Even if you want to venture outside of the theater department and join other organizations, so long as it's something you're passionate about and you're constantly engaging with people that are pushing you in a good direction that you feel is good for yourself, then you should be good. And being in good communication with your employer is also super important. I know for me, my first semester when I worked at HEB, I was constantly giving them updates on my schedule. Eventually I had to leave because I found an on-campus job, which was great, and they were very understanding. And even on my on-campus job, they understand that I am a student first. So that is one huge perk to working on campus. Also, bother financial aid and ask about work study and if that can work out for you. Because sometimes if you ask, you can get stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a work study job and I've had this job going, it'll be my 3rd year with the same place and I really like it. And they even, my first year I had work study, my second year I didn't. And the relationship I built with my employer, they were like, hey, we'll call financial aid for you. And they helped me figure that out. So building those relationships with employers or other organizations on campus, I would definitely recommend finding a place. The theater department is amazing and wonderful, but if you can find outside places, that's even better. Because the more support systems you have, like the more successful you'll be.
What were some of the ways, once you were admitted and got to campus, what were some of the ways you were able to get involved in the theater and dance community to start with?
For me, I remember I attended Welcome Week and all that stuff, and then I wasn't able to like audition or join any organizations because I had a job at the time that kept me from like going to any of the meetings. So the way that I was able to get involved was actually interacting a lot with the staff and faculty members in the building, and just having really good conversations with them, and just asking about the program and asking about their life. Even they have a lot of stuff to offer, a lot of opportunities to tell you about, a lot of projects that they're working on that maybe you can get tied into. I know that happened to me a ton, and I know with some of us here with Roxanne, And you know, just talking to anybody in the department is really gonna get you some opportunities. It's all about how much you want to be involved in and all that stuff. So yeah, staff and faculty, awesome people to get to know.
So let's go on. This is our last question. What is the best part of being a theater and dance student for you at UT Austin?
I think the number one best part is definitely the community. I think we're so lucky that like our cohorts are like kind of small, so like we kind of already have like a built-in support system and like a friend group. And I just think that like me and my other third years are like our best friends, and we talk every day, and it's just the best thing ever.
Like another really good thing about the theater department is just the professional connections you can make if you're really focused on your career and life outside of college. For me, I was really worried about getting an internship, and honestly, being a UT student made that so easy. I got an internship my first summer after freshman year at a theater in my hometown, Fort Worth, and they heard I was a UT student, and they were like, please come work for us. We love UT students. So definitely has opened a lot of doors for me in the professional world and just building my career. So I'm really thankful for that.
I think also another thing would be like the well-roundedness like of opportunities that we get. You get opportunities in literally whatever interest you may have, and I think that that's really cool that we are like even like getting these opportunities and then like learning and bringing them back and incorporating them. I think that is amazing, because I know that like sometimes people like they're just focused on acting or they're just focusing on tech, but I think that our department as a whole just does a really good job at incorporating all of that so that we become like really good, well-rounded professional working artists once we go out into the field. And so UT does a great job at preparing us for that. So thank you, UT.
I think one of the best parts about being a theater and dance student is the amount of resources that you have available to you as a student. I know that's like probably the number one reason why I came up to UT. I had Googled, I wasn't into college at all. I applied very late in the application process, and I just Googled good theater schools in Texas. UT was number one, and I said, okay, I'm gonna go for it. And I was lucky enough to get in, and the amount of resources not only in the theater department but outside of the theater department are just amazing. Anything that you need support in, there's a door somewhere for you. And so, whether it's a grant, whether it's a professor willing to come in and view your work, or other students who are just willing to give you their time with like no strings attached. So yeah, it's just got amazing, as Deja said, amazing opportunities and resources for you to guarantee your success. UT is a very well-funded school, and so there's always going to be something for you to dip into and get your dream on stage, on site, anywhere that you'd like. So yeah.
Well, thanks to all of y'all for joining today and answering some questions about the program. We appreciate your time. If anybody watching has any follow-up questions for myself or any of these students, just go to the website. On the apply page, my contact info is listed there, and you can get in touch. I'm happy to connect you via email to a student if you want to talk more about the student experience. But thanks for joining. Hook 'em.